Hello, everybody. This is now part one of lesson 5, step 3. And really, all I really want you guys to do is to read the stories. All right, this is our source text. I want you to read it once to enjoy it. All right, see what it's all about, and then read it again. Now that you know what it's all about, read it again as a writer, and how are we going to get information from this? So just start thinking about it like this, okay? But for now, I'm going to read you guys the stories, okay? All right, the first story, which you guys can follow along with, and it can be found on page 130, is called Incredible Animal Ears by Ari Griffin. Sorry, Incredible Animal Ears by Ari Griffin. Here we go. Excuse me. Elephants storm across a hot African desert toward a source of water. Suddenly they stop. Their ears open up wide and appear to hear distinct sounds, yet humans observing the scene nearby hear nothing. What is happening? Actually, the elephants are hearing a sound, but it has a pitch so low that humans can't detect it. We call this low pitch infrasound. And pitch is how high or low something is, and infrasound means it's something below what humans can hear. Scientists finally discovered this sound by using a machine called a spectrograph. This machine charted the sounds so scientists could study them along with the elephants' behaviors. These scientists concluded that the low sounds were actually warning sounds from another herd. The deepest rumbling sounds measure between 1 and 20 hertz, way below the sound that human ears can detect. Hertz are, right, they're explained right here. These infrasonic calls can mean different things such as, hello, I'm here, help, I'm lost, keep away, or danger ahead. Scientists continue to study the sounds that elephants make, and it's no easy task. So far, they have discovered about 70 different sounds that they use for different situations. Pretty interesting. And on the next page, 131, is the other story that is our source of information for what we're going to write about, our source text. And it's called Dances with Animals by Ellen R. Braff. Ellen R. Braff. All right, let's have a look. Let's read it together if you want to. If not, just listen along. A honeybee returns to the hive. Sticky pollen clings to her body. Nectar fills her honey sac. She's found apple blossoms in a distant orchard. How does she tell other worker bees about this new food source? She dances. Unlike humans, animals don't have words to help them communicate. They can't say, hey, look what I found, or keep away, this is my spot, or want to go steady? Yet animals communicate all the time. They send out signals, messages others receive and understand using their sense of smell. Taste, touch, hearing, and sight, all the 5 senses. Animals with good vision talk to each other with their bodies. They use patterns of movements to share information, to defend themselves or their territories, and to attract mates. Nature designs their steps, and they dance as if their lives depended on it. Often they do. Boop. Language of Bees is the title here. Language of Bees. Most communication takes place among members of the same species. In dark beehives, honeycombed walls become waxy dance floors. Like a rock star swarmed by adoring fans, a bee returning from the apple orchard begins her dance. Other workers follow her as she moves forward in a straight line. She vibrates her wings and wags her body side to side very quickly, 13 to 15 times a second. Then she turns to one side, circles back, and begins to waggle run again. When she finishes, she circles around, this time in the opposite direction, and repeats her steps. The dance may go on for hours. As she traces a figure 8 on the dance floor, the follower bees touch her with their antennae. They sense the odors of apple blossom nectar and pollen clinging to her body. These workers also detect the scent she used to mark the distant flowers. A flight plan is coded in her movements. The length of the waggle run tells workers how far the flowers are from their hive. Its angle tells them how to get there. Because bees steer by the sun, the dancer links her directions to its position in the sky. However, the position of the sun in the sky keeps changing. If the waggle dance lasts for hours, how do bees leaving their hive long after the dance has begun find their targets? Amazingly, they do. The waggling bee adjusts her dance to account for the sun's movement. And you have this picture of the honeybees down there doing a dance. That's fascinating about the bees. Okay, the next story is called Keep Away, This Is My Spot. Not all animals cooperate the way honeybees do. Most compete for food, territory, and mates. Fights take time and energy. Rivals risk injury and death, weakening the group as a whole. So some animals dance instead, using movements to make themselves look larger, stronger, and quicker than their competition. Don't mess with me, they say. Redfish, bluefish. Most fish settle conflicts over territory without fighting. But Siamese fighting fish, also known as bettas, are little fish with a big mean streak. Brightly covered bettas in pet stores have been specially bred for their beautiful veil-like fins. In the wild, they live in rice paddies in Southeast Asia. If threatened, male Siamese fighting fish switch back and forth between face-to-face and side-to-side positions facing each other. They flare out flaps of skin on their necks and extend their fins. This makes them seem twice their size. Side to side, they flicker their fins and beat the water with their tails. Tail beating gets faster and faster until one male backs down. The loser lowers his fins and puts his tails down. His bright red, blue, or purple body color fades to a dull hue. Defeated, he swims away. Those are really pretty fish, but they are pretty mean. It's a good thing they don't have teeth. Next story, lizard lingo. Lizard lingo. And you have a picture over there of a green anole in the Florida Keys. All right. Lizards sport a wide variety of odd body parts. Scaly crests on their tails, necks and backs, spines, knobs, and horns on their heads, and fleshy dew flaps, flaps of skin under their necks that flare out like fans, then disappear. When males compete for territory or challenge each other to see who is the best, these weird ornaments come in handy. Green anoles are small lizards found in the southeastern United States. They cling to rocks, trees, walls, and screens. At times, it looks as if they're listening to hip-hop music on invisible headsets. Their bodies groove to the beat. Their heads bob as their legs push up and down. When two male anoles meet, they really get going. They appear bigger and scarier. They raise a scaly ridge or crest along their backs and develop dark spots behind their eye sockets. They turn to the side to present the broadcast part of their bodies to each other. The dance ends when one backs down. The loser bobs his head slowly as if to say, "You the man," then moves away. Ooh, spectacular spiders. With their 8 legs, wolf spiders have a hairy chorus line attached to their bodies. When males meet, they challenge each other. They move back and forth, raising their brush-covered forelegs and waving their palps, jaw-like feelers. One spider lunges. They move back and forth, raising their brush-covered forelegs. I skipped over that. Let me start over again. Spectacular spiders. With their 8 legs, wolf spiders have a hairy chorus line attached to their bodies. When males meet, they challenge each other. They move back and forth, raising their brush-covered forelegs and waving their palps, jaw-like feelers. One spider lunges, the other backs away. If they're evenly matched, they may switch roles and the fleeing male becomes the chaser. As they run, retreat, approach, wave their abdomens, make contact, and tap each other, their dance looks like a cross between a cha-cha and a boxing match. The next story. High jumpers. On the plains of Africa, deer-like antelopes such as gazelles and impalas perform a remarkable dance step to discourage predators. Sometimes when a cheetah is about to attack, one gazelle bounds up and down, jumping into the air with back arched and legs stiff. This behavior, called stotting or pronking, puzzles scientists. Why would a gazelle about to become dinner waste time jumping around instead of hightailing it out of there? Some scientists think these gazelles are warning the rest of the herd. Others believe that by leaping into the air in the face of danger, stotting gazelles are sending attackers a signal. It says, "Nanny, nanny, boo-boo. I'm not scared of you. I'm fit and fast. You'll never catch me." Nanny, nanny, boo-boo. As cheetahs usually attack the weakest animals in the herd, catching a gazelle with enough energy to jump so high might be too much work. Meerkats use pronking to defend their territory. These desert-dwelling cousins of the mongoose are well known for their ability to stand up straight on their hind legs to watch for predators. When rival bands threaten, however, they perform a war dance, jumping up and down and jeering loudly. The group moves forward and then stops, each animal pawing the ground like crazy. They hope that that the rising dust and confusion are enough to drive the invaders away. All right, next page. What are we on now? We're on 136. Chance for romance. Do you want to go steady? That's what it says there. The displays males use when threatened can be a lot like the moves they use when trying to get a mate. That's probably because they're signaling similar things such as strength and power. When courting females, their signals might say, "Hey, you, over there, look at me. I'm big and strong. I'll be a great mate. I'll protect you and our offspring. I'll provide food and shelter. Pick me." Choosing a healthy, strong, clever partner is important. It means that animals have a better chance to pass their genes on to the next generation. Some animals meet only to mate. Some raise their young together. Others bond for life. Of the many courtship dances among animals, birds do some of the most interesting. A water ballet. Great crested grebes do a complicated water ballet. Facing each other, they shake their heads and bend their long, slender necks. They skim across the surface of a lake together, dive into the water, then rise at the same time with weeds in their beaks. Then they shake their heads, showing off the ruffs and tufts of feathers that adorn them. They tread water and dance with weeds dangling from their beaks. Sometimes they'll fling aside their grassy gifts and start again. This togetherness dance helps them be better mates and parents. Next page says, strutting their stuff. I'm looking at the picture there. The male greater sage grouse struts and dances. Looks pretty puffed up. Strutting their stuff. Some kinds of birds perform their courtship dances all together at gatherings called leks. The males put up with the competition because leks attract lots of females, far more than a single male could. Females flock to leks to see potential mates strut their stuff. Some take their time choosing and come back several days in a row. Sage grouse are large chicken-like birds of the American plains. In spring, they gather in openings in the sagebrush about the size of football fields. To attract females, males flare out their long, pointy tail feathers to form a speckled fan. With chests puffed up and air sacs inflated, they parade around making soft drumming and popping noises. These dances may go on long into the night if there's enough moonlight. Ooh, the next one, the show-off. Some birds dance alone on smaller stages. More than 40 different kinds of birds of paradise live on the island of New Guinea. The male-plumed bird of paradise does an energetic dance to impress any watching females. First, he cleans leaves off his stage, the dimly lit forest floor. Then he fluffs out a fancy ruff of special neck feathers and hops sideways, bobbing his head. In a final showy move, he wiggles his 6 plumes. In his dance, if his dance has impressed one of the watching females, it may mean the beginning of a new romance. And there's a picture of the birds of paradise. They are really pretty. And there you have it. Those are our sources of information that we are going to get for our story. Now, what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to move on to the second part of step 3, and we're going to identify the information that we need. Okay? Looking forward to it. And I hope you enjoyed the stories. Read them again. Read them again as a writer, just like we talked about, okay? All right. Good luck.